With the continued progress of the football team underway as rookie minicamp has expired, we got some pretty good notes from Nick Sirianni so far, but it was great to hear from the rest of the coaching staff in his group. Yes, sir. What is up, everybody? Good to be doing some content for the Birds again. Now that the playoffs have come to a unfortunate and depressing end for my Dallas Mavericks, we're back with the Philadelphia Eagles. What's going on, everybody? Lindy Endzone back in here for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles, one video at a time. If you are new to the channel and like my obvious diversity of fandom, as you can see in the background, with a Dirk jersey and a retro Jalen Hurts jersey, the number 2. If you are new to the channel, and like I said, you like the diversity of fandom that I possess, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you a part of the End Zone fam. Drop a like to help me out with the algorithm of YouTube, and or comment down below and let me know how I'm doing. So we got a lot to I'm going to try and condense this video a little bit. There's some bits and pieces from each press conference that we had today that we can go over, just a little bit of. There was some valuable information in there, not a whole lot. As I said to start the video, outside of the end of rookie mini camp when Nick Sirianni had his press conference, getting some notes off of him, it was great to hear from the rest of the coaching staff. Aaron Moorhead, Kevin Patullo, Jamel Singleton, Brian Johnson, and I'm trying to remember the last one off the top of my head. Jason Michael, the tight ends coach. That's right. So. Yeah, let's get into it, and let's start with Jamel Singleton first. Obviously with us trying to figure out this running back room and talent-wise who we have on the football field, it is good to know from a perspective of relationship that that these guys in the coaching staff of Nick Sirianni's group, they all have a good connection to Nick. So, as we're talking about culture and everything, it's just a great sign to see that there's going to be a nice collaborative effort here where it's not it's not like grabbing something random out of the bin and plugging it together. It's like all these guys that we have here now, their purpose seems like more intact, where as opposed to last year, and they ran, it was kind of random that they bring in Rich Scangarello and Marty Morningwig and guys like that, but not to say that was necessarily random, because Marty has been here before. But the point of that, maybe those guys weren't Doug Peterson's guys, and the difference here being that all these guys that we got on the coaching staff that were brought in with Nick Sirianni, they're Nick's guys, and it's a good sign to see how they all speak of the head coach, their goals together, as a collaborative effort for this football team. It's a really it's a breath of fresh air, definitely. Like I said, we'll start with Jamel Singleton first a little bit here, gathering some bits and pieces from his press conference. He described the running back room as having a healthy competition amongst the players that we have. They all have similar skill sets to each other that you can kind of bunch together in small groups. But the biggest thing for him is that that he wants these guys in a position where jobs aren't guaranteed, and even though Miles is in the position right now where he's moving into his third year and, wanting to prove himself as the number one back. You still gotta stick to that mentality then that you still have something to fight for. And I'm glad to see, that mentality. And, it's contagious amongst the rest of these guys on the coaching staff. It is also noteworthy that Jamel Singleton is sharing the same role that Deuce Staley had while he was still here, between being the running backs coach and the assistant head coach, like the assistant coach to the head coach to Sirianni. That was noteworthy to me. I feel that he's capable. I feel he's capable of doing it. And again, this just comes down to realizing the chemistry that these guys, that the coaching staff has with Sirianni in general. We see another thing that he noted here. Um, trying to remember, because I went through every press conference in I went through every single press conference in just this day. Um, Another noteworthy thing is that he scouted both Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. I thought that was interesting. So he knows those two personally a little bit. Uh, Having them go through drills and the pre-draft process, and you know, and that and so forth. Um, I feel that may have been part of the reason in bringing Jordan Howard back here. That you're bringing him back to a team where the running backs coach, knows of him pretty well. And the faith in trying to get Jordan into a better spot late into his career now, since we know that running backs don't have the greatest shelf life. um, and they might feel in this position that Jordan Howard can get back to being that number two behind Miles again. But we think about it at the same time that the competition's wrapping up. You got guys like Kenny Gainwell trying to make an impact here, and then they bring in Kerryon Johnson, and uh, you know Boston Scott and Jason Huntley aren't just gonna allow themselves to get pushed over. For what it's worth, Elijah Holyfield's still here, and you know, Adrian Killens. Adrian Killens is, he just got 2 years. He got 2 years as well. So, yeah, I think meeting Jamal, he did a good job today. He had some noteworthy things to tell us. Um, Jason Michael was pretty much the same. What I got from him that's unique is his background being a former quarterback, a quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator, and how he's looking to correlate his experience into being a tight end coach. And it's kind of the same philosophy as um, in a sense like he's converting himself, coaching wise, from like a quarterback to tight end. And then we see, you know, in the matter of what I was getting from him in terms of him speaking in the press conference, it's kind of like, in a way that, with Greg Ward being a former quarterback, and knowing where you have to be, on the field, sitting in zones, or how you cut on your routes and breaks, releases, and all, and so on and so forth. There's that knowledge. That he possesses. That's exclusive to that position, which would help the position in that manner. It's unique to me. He also mentioned that he's still keeping in contact with Zach Ertz. For what it's worth, at this point, we have no idea. Outside of guys like Jason Kelsey saying that he's optimistic that Zach's going to be here at the start of training camp, but who knows at this point. Kevin Patullo he had some interesting things to say, but not necessarily. The only things I got out of Kevin were, the fact that, that they realize as a coaching staff, from an offensive standpoint, with him being the passing game coordinator, is that the NFL is continuing to evolve and it's a copycat league, and that they got to stay on schedule or ahead of the curve as far as their playbook goes and what they want their players to do. So they're not shut down as easily, on offense, like, too many games that we've seen with Doug Peterson and his offense. So there wasn't much to go on there. And I guess it was the same for Aaron Moorhead. There was the questions were, for the most part, specifically about Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, and then there was two of them for Travis Fulgham. When he talked about Travis Fulgham, and he was asked if inserting Alshon Jeffrey back into the lineup, if that affected Travis at all, and he didn't agree. He didn't agree with it because he said at the end of the day, you're going to put your best players on the field. I mean, take of that what you will. I mean, I do and I don't agree with it. But I guess at the same time with Fulgham dealing with that ankle injury and whatnot, and that sort of setback, and sometimes it's just a mental thing with these players, and you got to do what you can to keep them on the same page so that they don't lose their direction in that regard and stuff like that. And then we get to Brian Johnson. I love the fact that he knows of Jalen Hurts very well already. That how awesome of a connection that they have, the respect that he has for Jalen's father and working with him and coaching, wanting to recruit Jalen Hurts for the longest time, I think, to Mississippi State, and then he wanted to again, for Florida, but they go separate paths, but they come together again, and it's just. I think this pairing is a match made in heaven, in my opinion. That kind of combination. There's just those like intangible perks, if you catch my drift, in that sense. And overall, I liked what all of them had to say. I guess as far as press conferences go, out of the 5 that I watched, Aaron Moorhead's not the greatest in my opinion. He kind of has the same kind of issue that Sirianni did in the beginning with stuttering and whatnot, and it's something that you you don't necessarily have to read into, but guys like that are going to get hate, and in the comments for the press conference video, people were talking about that Aaron should have been fired with the rest of the coaching staff, and stuff like that, and and it's whatever, man. People can hate, whatever. You guys think what you want to think at the end of the day, but it was a good idea, in my opinion, to be able to retain Aaron with the relationship that he has with with Nick Sirianni, and that moving forward. But overall, all their press conferences were pretty good. If you guys want to go back and watch them, for yourselves, all 5 are available on the Eagles YouTube page. And man, outside of that, I was pretty hype about that unscripted video that the Eagles dropped earlier today with the rookie class, and just watching some of the positional coaches out there, and hearing the excitement out of guys like Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon really getting pumped when these rookies are making plays and stuff like that, man, it gets you going and it gets your blood pumping. I'm definitely ready, and I hope everybody else is, you know, optimistically. So that's gonna do it for me for this one, guys. Again, appreciate the I appreciate the support that I've been given lately. I recently passed my mile. I recently passed 120 subscribers. It's going really quick, man. We're 80%. 80% away. We're 20% of the way there to 200, on the road to 200. It's a surreal feeling, man. But you know, it's crazy, but I appreciate it. At the end of the day, you guys already know. Man, how do I end the video? But I mean, I guess that's it. Y'all. I like I said, I just wanted to condense the press conferences a little bit, but I mean, that's what I got from them. It sounds vague, but it is what it is. They're not going to necessarily say a whole lot until they get with until they get with these guys at the start of training camp in late July. But all right, everybody, that'll do it for me. This Big Ear Guy, Lindy End Zone. You already know the deal. I'll see y'all later. Take care, fly Eagles, fly, and